Hey, it's nice to see you guys again. I know it's been a couple of months since I posted a video. I took the last 2 months off to work on some things around the shop here, get it a little tidied up. As you can see, we did some paint work. Still got some more work to do with the ceiling and the stairs, but we're in a pretty good spot right now. And then I also took a trip back down to Mexico to check up on the health, and everything looks perfect still. No signs of cancer, so very fortunate to have that in my back pocket. So we're gonna get back to work on this RM250 back here. I know we've had a lot of breaks here and there, and I hate it. I despise having to take breaks from the builds, but you know, there's been a lot of pressing issues in life. So we've got most of that handled, so no more excuses. Let's get to work and have some fun. So next on this build is the radiators. As you can see, these things are absolutely hammered, all twisted up and bent. So we're gonna straighten them out, clean them up, and get them mounted on the bike. And so if you've ever dealt with a jacked up radiator like this, you're gonna wanna keep watching. Now, before we get too carried away with today's project, I want to let you guys know that this bike will still be given away when it's all finished up. I know we've been dragging this out for a couple years, but there's not a whole lot of time left to sign up. So if you want in on this giveaway, just hit the first link down below in the description. And I should also mention that it is completely free to enter the giveaway for this RM. No need to purchase anything, no need to do anything. Just head to the website and sign up. So best of luck, guys. Now, before I get hammering on this thing to straighten it out, I wanna test it just to make sure it doesn't leak. So I've got these rubber plugs here. I'm gonna use these to plug up the holes here. So what I've got here is just a hose connected to the radiator. Everything's all plugged up, so I can kind of pressurize it. And where you want to look is usually around here, and then also all of these rows. I don't see anything on that side. Yeah, if it's leaking, you'll be able to notice pretty quickly, but this one looks good to go. Now with the cap side, you can just shoot it right in through the cap. You can pressurize it that way. No leaks here, so let's go bust out the hammer. So we're gonna start with the more destroyed radiator here. This one is twisted, and it's also caved in pretty good. We're gonna need a really nice big heavy hammer for this one, but I'm gonna start out by straightening it from top to bottom. So it's nice to have a set of soft jaws and a vise for this. Just gonna lightly clamp it in place and just grab it by hand and just frickin' twist it. You wanna make sure you're not grabbing on the outlets either. Just grab on the tank and like the side here. That way you're not ripping those off. Now for this, I'm just gonna put it on the edge of the table. This is a wood table, so nice and soft. And I'm just gonna use a good old 2x4. Go right on the lip here. We're gonna wanna catch it right at the highest part of the bend. Trade sides here, go from one side to the other. That way it straightens out evenly. Now for a bend like this, that's kind of behind this fitting, just use an extension to catch that lip. That's actually looking like 90% there. That's how the pros do it, right? Fucking hammer. So the radiator straightened out pretty good. No bows in the side. From top to bottom, it is straight. So the only thing I need to work on from here is there's a row that's pretty bent in right here. I'm gonna fish some wire through there and try that trick to straighten that out. Looks like that wire is gonna wear through the metal there. So I'm gonna have to take a different approach. So the radiator's in a good spot. I'm pretty happy with it. Now, you can see all of these fins are all bent up. I've got a new tool to try out. This is a radiator straightener plier. Imported it from Japan, so let's give it a try. Ooh, that works buttery. So not only does this make the radiator look a lot better, of course it improves the airflow. If you have a bunch of bent over fins, I'm not gonna get a lot of air movement through there. Not really sure what I'm gonna do here. I guess I'll just start picking at it with a tiny little flat blade. See if I can pull some of these fins back out. Luckily, this is gonna be on the front side of the radiator behind the louvers, so you're not gonna see it much. Got the radiator looking pretty good. All those fins straightened out pretty nice. I wasn't really confident in this radiator, so I actually had a backup radiator, but I guess the ultimate test is to see if it still holds pressure. So I built myself a little radiator tester here. Just got a radiator hose with a garden hose fitting. We just add pressure and see what happens. So we do have a leak here. That's right where it was impacted. I don't think this leak is fixable because it's kind of deep in there. And honestly, I probably shouldn't have even spent the time on this radiator because it's so hammered to begin with. So I'm gonna go to my backup radiator. This is at least a good little test to see how much a radiator could be straightened out, but obviously kind of failed because it's leaking now, which this is only like the second or third time I've had a radiator leak. So here is my backup radiator. It's a lot nicer shape. No big dents like this other one had. So let's go pressure test this one. Looks, oh shit. Well, I think that one holds pressure. As you saw with the other radiator, you can see pretty easily where the water squirts out when you add some pressure. And so I don't see anything on this radiator, but I'm just curious how far we could shoot one of these plugs. Oh, dude, that was like 40 feet. Who should we shoot with that thing? Let's see how good my aim is here. Oh, that sucked. You know what? I'm probably gonna cause a leak in this radiator by doing this. Got it. All right, that's enough fun for the day. This is how you could flush out a radiator too. Not a bad idea. I didn't show this on the other radiator, but this one is not parallel from top to bottom. So how we're gonna fix that? By putting it in the vise. So we've got this blue square thing. I don't even know what the frick it's called, but it'll tell us how square we are. We got a little bit more work to do. As you can see, this side is not completely parallel. It's about as good as it gets right there. See how fast this is with this? So this radiator is all straight. Let me show you something I was doing with the fins. So I started off with the pliers and that was going kind of slow. So I just grabbed a really tiny screwdriver here and I was just going in each fin and just going right down the row, straightening them out. What the screwdriver doesn't do is actually give nice straight lines. So if you're really picky about it, you can use these pliers to kind of straighten those out again. And it does a really nice job. But the pliers are very slow going, as you can see. So maybe use a combination of both. So this radiator is done. Obviously we still gotta clean it up and we've got some more ideas for it. But I'm gonna move on to the cap side radiator and get this all straightened out. We're twisted and it's a little caved in right here. So I just noticed this radiator has a big dent on the bottom. And I also have a spare radiator for the right side. Still kind of got the same dent. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. Probably not, because this one's really bent out. I'm gonna have to go with the backup radiator on this one. Both radiators are straight and leak free. Now I want to do something with these to prevent them from bending again. And I'm not really much of a fabricator, so we're gonna head to my brother Austin's house and see what he can brew up for these. What's happening? brought you a project.
I see.
As you can see, we are doing some radiator braces here, just on the corners. Cut a few more out on the plasma and TIG these things in. So we're gonna go take this thing for a burn. It's Austin's Hilux he just built. Check out the freaking engine bay. Bunch of Cerakote going on. He did kind of a patina theme on the outside, left the rust and just clear coated it. Got to see the interior too. All right, radiators are back from welding. Check these welds out. Beautiful. Yeah, so I ended up making more of these braces for you guys. And if you want to snag them, they'll be on the website. So there's a couple different options here. You could grab the braces, take them to a local shop and have them weld it. Or Austin said he'd be willing to weld your radiators as well. So if that is something you guys are interested in, I will have the link to his website down below in the description. It'll be $115 for the welding, the braces, for a set of radiators. That's 2 radiators. And I guess if you have like a small bike that has 1 radiator, it would be half the cost.
They gotta be straightened up too. It'll be actually weld them in there.
Yeah, just make sure you send a straight set. He's not gonna go straighten them and everything for you. So just the welding and the braces, and that includes shipping back to you in the US. So if you want to make your radiators looking sweet, got a solution for you. Now the reason why we went with just braces on the corners is because that's typically where a radiator will leak. That's actually where this thing was leaking, as you guys remember earlier in the video. And if you do braces in the center, in my opinion, that is just adding too much rigidity to the radiator, and you take an impact and the thing is just gonna explode. So you gotta have some weak points, like for it to bow in right here. That can be easily straightened like you guys saw in the video. But if you take a hit in the corner here, that's really where it's gonna leak. And then also I was noticing, after this thing is braced, it is not gonna twist from top to bottom like how these were before when we started. So whether you guys are welding these braces in yourself or bringing it to a shop, I would recommend welding them flush like that and not on top of the radiator. That way you're not relying on the weld to hold the strength. You're kind of wedging this in between right here. So when you're setting this up, just put a brace underneath, set it on top, and that'll make it nice and easy to throw a weld down right there. So as you can see, this is a test radiator, but we welded on top of the radiator, or on top of the lip there, and I just don't think that is going to be as strong as this right here. Here's a close-up of the finished pieces. Ended up laser cutting them just to get a perfectly smooth edge on them. Turned out beautiful. So if you guys are interested, they will be on the store. Now the next step with these radiators is to clean them up. There's some dirt staining and corrosion, so I'm actually going to try glass beading these in the cabinet over here. Good idea to plug up the fittings, that way I don't get any abrasive material inside the radiator while blasting. So for the fins, just hit them at one angle here, and then you'll have to flip around and get it from the other side, but this glass bead is cleaning it up really well. I'm at about 65 PSI right now, so pretty low. It's a medium-sized glass bead. And while you're blasting with glass bead, you want to be at a 45-degree angle to the part. You don't want to be straight on. like right here is the optimal angle. Not bad at all for just a quick 5-minute blast. Got all those fins pretty much perfectly clean. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Doesn't quite have the shine of, say, like vapor blasting, but pretty good alternative for how quick it was. And it's a lot better than this crusty mess here. We're gonna clean up this dirty girl next. All right, both radiators are blasted. Now would be a good time to blow all the sand out of them. Now I like the clean look of the glass bead. It just doesn't really have a lot of life or really depth to it. So I'm actually going to bust out a little abrasive wheel and just do the tanks and the sides and kind of give it a brushed look there. That is looking a lot better. Got the brush look. Used a fine wheel. I think this was a 2-inch. And I just went through one wheel for both radiators. Now, if you want an even more consistent look, take a same wheel and just brush it in the same direction that you're buffing in. And this will give it just a little bit better grain. So you guys might remember I was looking for a new wiring harness. I was able to locate one on eBay. So let's get this on and then the radiators. Get the CDI strapped in place. So come to find out, you gotta have the rubber in first before you rivet that mount onto the airbox, but got it. So now we are all secure. I always thought it was weird that they put the CDI in the airbox. Why not mount it on the front of the bike? Oil. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. If you guys have never used these drilled washers from Bolt, definitely spices up your bike. Got some nice Chinese blue radiator hoses, eBay special. I've actually had pretty good luck with these over the years. They're not too bad. Thought I'd show you guys kind of how I tuck this harness in here. Put most of the connectors inside the motor mount here just to kind of keep it out of the way. Definitely don't want any connectors, anything in front of the radiators here, because they would be vulnerable to rocks and whatnot. So you really want to tuck everything up inside of this cavity. Then the throttle cable just kind of fishes right in here. There's a gap to shoot through. Wow, that's actually working pretty good. It's a PEX hose cutter, PEX tube, like plumbing. Almost breaking them, putting them in. Starting to look like a complete bike again. All we need is a gas tank and then she's ready to bark. But our fun today is not over. I wanted to have a little therapy session with my radiator here, let some anger out. And since we had braced one end and not braced the other, I want to take a sledgehammer to it and see how strong these truly are, and also test out those braces a little bit. So where is the nearest sledgehammer? This hammer will do. Ah, she bent. Now if we hit it, say impact it right near the corner. Yeah, not too strong. Now if we do the same thing over here. Wow, you can see it held the shape. I mean, the brace bent, it bowed out a little bit, but at least it's not impacting the corner here where it could leak. Ever wondered how strong these fittings are? Not bad. All right, one big fucking swing here. Dude, this is too much fun. What was your idea? Take a screwdriver to it? Here, I'll let you do it since you seem so interested. Oh, isn't that so satisfying? What did you think of that?
It's fun.
Have you used the bathroom now?
Yeah, I have to go to the bathroom.
What about stabbing a hole through it? Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to cut them out.
More cooling capabilities right there. Used to play my fair share of baseball back in the day. See if my skills are still good. How was my swing? 355 yards? I think it's gonna be a hole in one. You know, I feel really bad that I smashed this radiator up so bad, and someone honestly could have used it. Let's try to knock this bend out. I mean, it's not too bad. So this one's a little bit beyond fixing with a hammer. I'm gonna have to take it to the press here. And I think we can get this thing back in working order. Oh, fuck. What was that? You want to be really careful here. Just make sure you don't overdo it because, you know, these radiators, they only have so many lives. If you go too far with them sometimes, oh.